Hey everybody, welcome to Art of War. Up, meant to put the page here, but welcome to the Art of War Nuggets book reading by Big Nard. Glad you guys are here today. Um, we left off on um, page 106, so we're taking. No, I'm sorry, 107. We're taking up, but I just wanted to, for all the people out there, first I want to say what's up to everybody, and all the people who out there that are just joining us. I do this every time. The Art of War, Sun Tzu by Thomas Cleary and the Shambhala Dragon Editions. If you got the book, join us and read along with us. If not, I do try to put the caption in the lower left-hand corner. At least it's the lower left-hand corner on my screen, but at least on the lower left-hand corner, I try to put the caption so you can follow along. So what I normally do is I read what Master Su says, his wise words of wisdom, and then I give you my Bernardarisms, my commentary, and then we follow the commentary of all of the other generals and rulers or leaders of that period. The period was 500 BC, so we're talking about 2,500 years ago, just to give you a little piece of information. So now we will definitely get started. And so let me make sure I got this ready, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first one we're going to do is, now this is on page 107. So if you're following page 107, and it says, we'll read the Master Su. So Master Su says, if you can strike few with many, you will thus minimize the number of those with whom you do battle. Yeah, these are like, that's why I say like these are like little nuggets, and they're so packed with powerful information, power packed punch information, man. That's the triple P's. When you ever hear triple P's, it ain't practice. It's power packed punch on these nuggets here. So with Master, look, if you can strike few with many, you will thus minimize the number of those with whom you do battle. All right, now I'm a little confused by that because if you can strike few with many, you will thus minimize the number of those whom you do battle. Oh, okay. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking strike too. So remember, it's 7:30 in the morning. So I've been up like for a ridiculously long time. So I'm now I get it though. If you can strike few with many, meaning that if your forces are larger than the other, but I'm thinking of a strike. Like if I can, because I was thinking if you could strike many with few, meaning that one shot in the Call of Duty, one shot goes through one person and takes out one or two other people, then that's where I was going with it. But it's the opposite, because he's actually talking about when you can strike, comma, few with many. All right, so there we go. So I agree with that. Yeah, if you have a larger force, then you'll minimize the number whom you do battle with. Still a little confusing, but we'll leave it there. Let's see what these other guys have to say about it. In fact, not a lot. Only Dumu wrote about it. Like he only followed up that comment, because probably other ones felt like I do right now, a little confused. So let's see what Dumu says and see if it clears things up. All right. So Dumu is saying, while being deeply entrenched and highly barricaded, not allowing any information about yourself to become known, go out and in formlessly. Go out and in formlessly, attacking and taking unfathomably. Harry and confuse enemies so that they divide their troops in fear, trying to cover themselves on all sides. It is like climbing a high mountain to spy on a citadel, seeing out from behind a veil. You know all about the disposition of the enemy personnel, while the enemy cannot figure out your offense or defense. Therefore, you can be unified while the enemy is divided. The power of those who are united is whole, while the power of those who are divided is reduced. By striking diminished power with whole power, it is possible always to win. And that last line is key. By striking diminished power with whole power, is possible always to win. All right, so yeah, Dumu made it a lot. He made it a lot easier for me to understand if that's what he's saying. Maybe Dumu, maybe Dumu's confused too, but I like what Dumu's saying. Um, Again, if you can strike few with many, I guess that's the whole divide part. I think that's where he's coming from. Yeah, so attacking unfathomable. Yeah, I still don't get it. I'm still all right. So this one, it's a little off for me, but I like what Dumu said. So I'll just like say what he means. Um, but dividing the enemy gives you more numbers. So I guess I was saying it in regards to meaning numbers, but divide and conquer is basically where he's going. Strike and diminish power with whole power. It is possible. And there was a part here like that. I like the whole part about being in the mountain, being able to see everything while they can't see you, right? So that I like that actually. I actually like that line. So let me take a note of that. I gotta figure out a way to actually. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, I need to add a line because what I'm gonna do is my next goal is to do the golden nuggets, right? So I'm gonna take all of these top phrases and then I'm try to create a golden nugget where we go over just like the most potent stuff. Yes, I just want to do that. So I'm gonna do Dumu. So that's on 107, right? And I'll take Dumu. I like what Dumu said there. Look, I like the part about the mountain. Oops. The part where he's mentioning about the mountain. I like that. Climbing up a mountain and it lets you see everything. Like so I can see all of your terrain. I can see everything you're doing, but you can't see everything I'm doing. You don't even know we're formless to you. I see your entire form, you don't see our form. So that was a good example of assessing the enemy without them being formless. That's the formlessness. I see you, and then you can use that formlessness to create formation for them. Because now you know all of their wear. But that's really nice, man. I like how you said that. So striking diminished power with whole power. Wow. All right, cool, man. So let's move to the next one. I like that one though. Let's move to the next one. So he says, your battleground is not to be known. For when it cannot be known, the enemy makes many guard outposts. And since multiple outposts are established, you only have to do battle with small squads. Dude, that is so fly. You only have to battle with small squads. That goes back to what we were saying. You got 3 doors. You got to protect 3 doors. You got 4 people protecting 3 doors. Then 2 of those doors is going to be lightly protected as opposed to 4 people protecting 1 door, right? If you only have one way to come in, we're protecting that door or we're going to attack at that point. This is easier because now you have concentration. As soon as there's 3 entrances, 4 people, now you have division. And then so anybody who comes through one of those doors, you're only going to have, if you come through the door, there's only 1 person and you have a team of 3, that's 3 on 1 right there in the beginning. So then everybody else has to regroup. So then by the time they regroup, if you move swiftly and behave, don't be quick like the lightning strikes. I'm trying to tell that down. Quicker than lightning strikes. To hear before the thunder even reaches your ear. Then you will overcome the victim, your enemy. Yo, that is too cool, man. So your battle round is not to be known, for when it cannot be known, the enemy makes many guard outposts. Since multiple outposts are established, you only have to do battle with small squads. That super applies in everything, man. Call of Duty, I'm telling you, we went through that a lot, man. Yeah, so that's awesome, man. All right, so let's see what Cacao says. When your form is concealed, the enemy is in doubt, and so divides up his company to be on guard against you. This means that the enemy groups are small and easy to hit. Man, dude, major. Yeah, because like I said, those 3 doors. We don't know where you're coming from. It's very difficult. But if we see where you're coming from, and then everything else is covered, we have our gaps covered. Because if we got 3 doors and we're facing 1 door, man, there's 2 door gap. They attack the 2 doors. Then they got us. Man, I feel like Sun Tzu right now, man. I feel like, oh man, especially I can't wait to play Call of Duty now. So Wang Ji says, don't let the enemy know where you will clash, for if they know, they will mass their strength to resist you. Exactly, man. Yo, like those, remember saying about those other guys, they hurt me. So, dude, I had three. As soon as I looked, fortunately, I was able to see them. I still got killed, but fortunately, I was able to see them. But they knew I was there, so they were all forcing the guns on me. But they left a major gap open, and we still wasn't able to capitalize on it. But at least we had the idea of capitalizing on it. So that is very impressive. Shoot, man, you know what I'm thinking about? I might even take clips of the video game for some of these that I see here, and add those so I can give examples. Man, let's take a note of that. Just taking a note. Sorry about that. Because remember, still testing. This whole thing is me still testing. So you'll see that go time to time. Me just jump off topic and do something, or if I see something that's that needs to be updated, or if you have commentary and have any comments and say, hey, this is something you noticed that could be improved. Definitely interested in what you have to say. All right, cool, man. So that's that one. So I guess that was on page 107. All right, so we're on 108. All right, I like that. So now, did it move forward? Oh, no, I'm sorry. So on page 108, so when the front is prepared, the rear is lacking. Exactly what I just said. Oh, man, I told you I feel like Sun Tzu right now. When the front is prepared, the rear is lacking. And when the rear is prepared, the front is lacking. Preparedness on the left means lack on the right. Preparedness on the right means lack on the left. Preparedness everywhere means lack everywhere. Oh, mind blown. Boom. Mind blown, bro. He said preparedness everywhere means lack everywhere. Yeah, he just blew my whole commentary down. Like the other one I said, like the last commentary, I made a mistake. You have to be one of the in the last nugget, nugget 15, I think. Yeah, so in nugget 15, right? One of my comments was, you have to be prepared on both to be gapless, because they were talking about when you attack, because normally you are going to attack gaps, right? So those who are skilled in attack, the opponent can't defend, because you can't defend it because they are going to attack your defenseless, your weakest link. So you can't defend it because they know that you can't defend it. That's why they're attacking. And we're talking about skilled warriors, right? So that plays right into that, because the thing I was thinking, yeah, you got to be prepared on every front. But now when he said this, so he just debunked my concept, because so within this he debunked me, because you can't be prepared everywhere, because there has to be somewhere you're going to be lacking in something, right? So you can't be prepared everywhere at the same time. So some things are going to be stronger than others, because that's the division part. So if I got four openings, and that means all of us can't be looking at that one opening. So when you each opening is only as strong as the amount of people you have protecting that opening, right? It can't be, if it's 10 of us, it can't be 10 of us, because not 10 of us are protecting it, right? So, wow. So, yeah, you can't always be prepared. But what happens is, what makes it prepared is your assessment and your intelligence to be able to know where the enemy is without them knowing where you are. So now you divide them, and then you know with certainty that they're in this area. So now when you're protecting that area, you have more people at that point, unless they're good enough to find out your weaknesses, right? But then that becomes the thing of skill, intelligence, and all the other factors. But that's the gist, though. So now I'm starting to see that that's pretty much what he means. And then we got my man Duyu's back, and that's Duyou. Gotta say that. This means, so now that's my commentary. So this Do you says this means that when troops are on guard in many places, they are perforce scattered into small bands. Yeah, it's amazing, man. And Dumu's the only one that commented on that. Oh, I was like, I thought I wasn't broadcasting. That's hilarious because normally I double check, but I didn't double check this time. See, slack. So I got to make that more. I got to make that more commonplace, where I'm checking the actual physical broadcast. So let's because I want to make sure that when I'm looking at it, oh, let me turn it down. That I see. This is all part of the practice and training part, and also to look at the quality. So I checked the quality of the video there. All right. So with that being said, no, that's pretty amazing. So let's go to the next one. The next one is the few are those on the defense against others. The many are those who cause others to be on the defensive against themselves. Yeah, I need like I need a video that hit it and just go mind blown. The few are those on the defense against others. The many are those who cause others to be on the defensive against themselves. Yo, bro, I don't even know how you break that down. And it looks like many of the other masters didn't know how to break it down either, because you got one comment on that. But I'm gonna take a jab at it. All right, so the few are those on the defensive against others. The many are those who cause others to be on the defensive against themselves. Golly, man. If you dag man, so if you're on the defensive against the enemy, it's few. Because normally they're gonna attack your weak defenses. The many are those who cause others to be on the defensive against themselves. Damn. Bro, that right there, and oh my goodness, man. On the defensive against themselves. Bro, I gotta process that. The many are, because man, like I could get the gist of it, but to fathom it is kind of when they talk about unfathomable, that's the unfathomable part. You'd be like, wait a minute, instant against themselves. Few are those on the defensive against others. The many are those who cause others, like you cause others to be on the defensive against themselves. I guess that goes. So my jab at it is that it's forced the using the part of formlessness and being mysterious, right? So you'll be on defense against yourself because you have no idea where we're coming from, what we're coming with. You don't know our form. So I'm assuming that that's where that's at. And we only got one commentary on that. So that's my take on it, right? So, but Maya Yochin says, the more defenses you induce your enemy to adopt, the more impoverished your enemy will be. Okay. So we're on accord. So what I'm saying, okay, you become mysterious, you're unfathomable, which that made me think is like an unfathomable thought. But so that means that unfathomable aspect definitely works because it hit me with it. Just reading a sentence, it hit me. Imagine it happening. But what you're doing is your mysteriousness creates the confusion. So they need to protect everything because they don't know where you're coming from. So they don't have any idea of your formation. So you force them to be defending against themselves. So then you break their numbers down. Golly, you see how that little line, that little sentence means all of that. And probably a bunch more that I don't even know. Like, man, actually, I know it means 1,000 times more than I don't have because this dude actually, Sun Tzu had a 30,000 man army going against a 300,000 man army, and he never lost a battle. So that tells you right there, and he defeated the army. So let's just say that he did total domination. So that's very impressive. Wow. All right, so let's get on to the next one. right? So if you know the place, this is Master Sun. So if you know the place in time of battle, you can join the fight from 1,000 miles away. If you do not know the place in time of battle, then your left flank cannot save your right. Your right cannot save your left. Your vanguard cannot save your rear guard. Your rear guard cannot save your vanguard. Even in a short range of a few dozen miles. Wow, man. So if you know the place at the time of battle, you can join a fight from 1,000 miles away. But if you don't know the place in time of battle, then your left flank cannot save your right, because that means you don't know when it's going to happen. And then these guys, okay, now that goes to the prize attacks, ambushes, everything that they talk about. So now this is getting cumulative because all of the things that they talk about, now they're actually putting it into play. You can't save your rear flank because you don't even know when the time of battle is. Like that's a surprise attack, right? So if you're out and then you get surprised, that's even if you're a few miles away, it's already, the decimation is already complete. Fortunately, we got my man Do You reading this, man. So that's Do You. I always gotta run it. Do You. The ancient philosopher Master Guan said, "Go forth armed without determining strategy, and you will destroy yourself in battle." And that's Do You's commentary on that. The ancient philosopher Master Guan says, "Go forth armed without determining strategy, and you will destroy yourself in battle." And this pretty much that pretty much lies right in there. Yeah. So yeah, you don't have no strategy. They could just set you up, and then you'll just get devoured. All right, so let's go on to the next. Right. So now this is Sun Tzu. We're on page 109 now. He said, "According to my assessment, even if you have many more troops than others, how can that help you to victory?" So numbers don't constitute victory. Having more numbers does not mean that you will actually achieve victory. Having more numbers gives you the advantage, but it doesn't actually constitute victory, because victory could be, or you cannot be the director of victory. But that goes back with all of the other assessments and all of the strategy assessments, lay of the land, all of that stuff determines that. But even if you have many more troops than others, how can that help you in victory? Well, it can, but the question is, how can that help you in victory? The first thing is that it can, but it's not the precursor to victory. So now the only person that responded to that one was Li Quan. And Li Quan says, "If you do not know the place and time of battle, even though your troops outnumber others, how can you know whether you will win or lose?" Yeah. So then Master Sun goes on. Let's move to the next one. Then Master Sun comes on to say, so it is said that victory can be made. And when he says victory can be made, victory can be created. And that goes back into all of the pre-preparation. And this is more on, I'm starting to get that he's talking more on being cunning in attack, sneak attack, ambushes, setup, being formless. Mean that a sneak attack is a sense of formlessness, right? So you can't determine when a sneak attack is going to happen, because a sneak attack has, like, so the unexpected, the unprepared, all of that stuff becomes formlessness because you can't prepare for it. I can't prepare for a surprise unless I knew that there was going to be a surprise, right? But then that takes a lot of research, you know what I'm saying? So that's why the other person said, the ancient philosopher, when Do You said, "Go forth armed without determining strategy." You got the strategy is the key component before all of this, before you get to this point. Those who do all of the strategy can, so it is said that victory can be made, right? If your strategy is strong, you can make victory. You can achieve victory through your strategy and your preparedness. All right, so Ming Shi says, if you cause opponents to be unaware of the place and time of battle, you can always win 100 times more people than me. If we set you up, you don't even know, you're unprepared. You got all your gaps. We exploited it through our strategy. We could decimate you. In fact, let's go back to Call of Duty. And Call of Duty is a good example where you have, I'm just talking about, this is a thing called Rebirth, right? That we play. So what happens is there's times when you have one guy could take out a whole team of 4 people because they're lacking. There's gaps. The communication is not right. The planning is not right. We're not assessing the lay of the land. We're divided. So one person could come in and wipe out a whole team quickly, and it's insane. But that's the gist, because you get hit by surprise, and by the time you react, it's hard to even get a grasp of what's happening. By the time you figure out what's happening, you're already taken out. But that's the gist. So that's what Meng Shi said. So let's move to the next one. And it says, even if opponents are numerous, they cannot be made to fight. So you can have many more people, and they cannot be made to fight. Now that is probably basically my commentary on that is, when you have momentum on your side, you could be outnumbered, but the momentum and the swiftness, if you move fast, by surprise, the element of surprise, being swift, fast, and total in your attack, what happens is it can instill fear or emptiness into the other team. So being full can create emptiness in those that are full. So you can pull the empty, you can extract the fullness out of someone and make them empty. So let's see that's my take on it, but let's see what Gia says. So she's saying, even though opponents be numerous, if they do not know the conditions of your troops and you constantly make them rush about trying to cover themselves, they will not have time to formulate battle plans. Boom, exactly what I was saying. Yep. Even if their opponents be numerous, they do not know the conditions of your troops, and you constantly make them rush about trying to cover themselves, they will not have time to formulate battle plans. That's it. That example that I got, one person can take out a whole team, just throws you off guard, and then by the time everybody gets to the thing, it's already too late because you can't form a battle plan. You can't form it. And especially if they see you and they come in, they have the advantage. They come in and they can prepare, and they have a better strategy than you, which when you're under surprise, your strategy doesn't exist. It's instantaneously. And you don't know when you're going to be. The point of surprise is that you don't know when it's going to happen. So there's nothing you can kind of prepare for it, but you just don't know when it's going to happen. That's probably why now that I'm saying that, when they're saying the time of battle, when you don't know the time of battle, it's almost certain that you will lose, right? Especially if you don't put the proper strategy in. So anything that you lack is going to be used against you. So that is like, wow. Yeah, so I like that. And then so Zhang Yu said, divide their forces. Do not let them press forward at once with coordinated strength. Then how could anyone fight with you? Do not let them press forward at once with coordinated strength. So if you divide their forces and you do not let them press forward with coordinated strength, then how can anyone fight with you? Yeah, that's pretty good. So let's see what Master Sun, this is the next one Master Sun says. So assess them to find out their plans, both the successful ones and the failures. Incite them, I'm having fun with this, incite them, I'm like that, to action in order to find out the patterns of their movement and rest. And this goes to an example of, and then we'll close on this one. But when you see this, when there's strikes, like you'll see like a Russian ship comes close to the U.S. line and sometimes almost crosses the line. You know, that's a test to see the readiness of the United States military, right? And then the military probably does it with other United States and all these other countries will do it. They test you. And then they test you to see how you're going to respond, to see if you're prepared, to see if you saw us coming. because they're looking for gaps, and then to see what your technology can determine as they make assessments and be prepared for battle. All right, so that's my take on it. So let's go with Meng Shi. So Meng Shi says, assess opponents' conditions, observe what they do, and you can find out their plans and measures. And let me just read, because he says find out their plans, both the successful one. This is Sun Tzu. I'm going back to Sun Tzu. I'm rereading that. So assess them to find out their plans, both the successful ones and the failures. Incite them to action in order to find out the patterns of their movement and rest. Dude, create diversion, see how they respond. This is like really good stuff, man. So Chen Hao said, I don't even think I finished Meng Shi. I'm gonna reread it anyway if I didn't. So Meng Shi said, assess opponents' conditions, observe what they do, and you can find out their plans and measures. So then Chen Hao says, do something for or against them, making opponents turn their attention to it, so you can find out their patterns of aggressive and defensive behavior. And that's how people test you. Like that even happened. Like I said, we go back into stuff that happens in real life. You know, in high school and stuff like that, you have people test you. They'd walk up and do something to see how you respond. And like there's 1,000 stories, man. But this is like a simple story though. There was a guy. I'm at the lunch table. This is high school, man. I'm at the lunch table, and he walked over. Big dude walked over, and I'm sitting down, and he went and took his. There's a couple times this happened, man. Each time it got crazy. So he walked over and grabbed my French fry, man. Oh, man, let me tell you something. But I knew what he was doing, man. And I just was like, yo, that's like, I don't recommend this. So this story right here is not a recommended story, but I'm just telling you something that I did. But, man, I jumped up and just started swinging on this guy. Like, I'm talking about beating him till he falls all on the ground on the chair. I'm swinging. Everybody's like, yo, what are you doing, man? He just grabbed the fly. I'm like, yo, I'll put you. Oh, yo, it was hilarious, man. Dude, this dude was like, come on, man. Yo. That was fun. Yeah, I remember that, man. Because he was testing me, man, and I knew it because he wanted to see what I was going to do. Like, yeah, and I'm like, nah, man, you ain't trying to play with me, man. So I don't even play like that. Don't ever do that. Yo, man, that was hilarious, man. And that happened a couple times too, man, with other people. Like, as soon as they did, that was fun, man. Oh. You know what I mean? I didn't realize it. Like thinking of that, man. You know what I mean? Times that happened. Golly. But I don't recommend it. But it was just a story that it was reminding me of, man. Back in the day. I totally forgot what I was like. Oh yeah, last one before we go, man. So do move. Yo, and the dude who I did that to, man. Hey, yo, you remember that, man? That shit is funny. And you shouldn't have touched my fry, bro. That's your fault. Should have asked. You should have asked, really. I probably would have said no, but still, you should have asked, man. All right, so Dubu. So Dubu says, stir opponents up, making them respond to you. Then you can observe their forms of behavior and whether they are orderly or confused. The military wizard Wu Kuai devised this strategy for assessing generals. He said, have brave young men lead crack troops on strikes and run away after skirmishing without being punished for running away. Then observe the enemy's behavior. If there is orderly rule and the enemy does not give chase to the fleeing troops and does not try to take advantage to grab what it can, this means the generals have strategy. On the other hand, if the enemy behaves like a mob, giving chase in total confusion and greedily trying to plunder, you can be sure that the directives of the general are not carried out. So you can attack them without hesitation. Bam! That's why I love this book, bro. And it's funny. So even I'll go back to my Call of Duties. You're going to hear a lot of Call of Duties, man. So I'm going to just let you know that straight up. You know how many times, man, we be playing, we running Call of Duty, and we have enough. We picked up enough some money to actually buy. We call them loadouts and all these other supplies. But you're looking. If you see stuff, you basically you're scavenging. Like you see stuff, you pick up things that you can use. But if you got all the money, why are we going to try to run around scavenging old stuff when we can go buy some of like some new stuff and good equipment. So a lot of times when as soon as that happens, I'm like, hey man, we're seeing a person like we're like shooting at somebody down the out of the distance. As soon as we get enough money, I'm like, dude, leave him alone. We don't need to attack him. Like he's not even really a threat to us. Let's go get what we need before something happens and we lose our money because somebody might kill us and take our money. So what you want to do is at that time, as soon as you got an opportunity, because everything can happen in seconds, right? So as soon as you get the opportunity, my goal is, hey man, cease any frivolous assaults that are not a threat to us, because we're just shooting them to be shooting them. Like we see an opportunity, we start attacking, right? But it's not necessary. So if they were watching us, like if this was the situation, and when we do it, I know, hey, come on guys, let's go get the loadout, and then so now we stop what we're doing, let them do whatever they're going to do, and then we rush to the loadout to get, because once we get the loadout, now we have all of the stuff that we need to be an effective team, like an elite team. So that's an example of sending people out. And I had this happened to me, another type of scenario, man. When I was in high school, there was like this story. I'm a nice in the story up, but the story is a little. So there was these two guys. I'm coming home. Two guys. There's other guys, like a new guy in the area, and they do not too good stuff. So me, man, they see me, and I guess they were like they wanted to test me. Like he sent the dude to come check me. So I'm walking. This guy rolls up on me. Now, I mean, we're in high school, right? So the kid rolls up on me, and I'm like, "Yo, what are you doing?" So immediately, we got into a tussle. But I caught on he was testing me. But I destroyed this dude. Now I wasn't serious because you could gauge it. It was weird. Hey, did my thing die? Oh, I don't know what just happened, but it was weird. So I destroyed the dude, man. Not in the sense of I said, hey man, step off, or because I basically could have destroyed him, but I got him in a situation where he couldn't do nothing, and then I let him go, and then that was the gist. But I caught on that I was being set up, and so when the guy watched what I did to the other guy, he took that he assessed me. He took the assessment and was like, all right. So then the kid walked over to him, and then they walked away. But I knew that's what it was. But I know that's weird, but that's what it was, man. So I got tested, and that's exactly because they were like they wanted to know what I would do, how I would react. So he sent somebody over there just to do that. It was specifically to do that, 100% just to do that. And then at the time, but that was a general move for that dude to do that. Now I guess maybe I don't know what it was, but definitely got tested on that letter, and it was just like that. And then I said, "Yo, man," so then I let the dude go, and the dude watched it. So that's exactly what happened here. Now I don't know what he did with that information, but fortunately, it didn't turn out into anything negative. Well, maybe that I don't know, but fortunately, that was the situation. But look, we're gonna end on that note. First of all, I want to say, listen, thanks. Cut it short. Well, actually, long, man. Went over a little bit. But definitely appreciate that everybody was here, that you were actually viewing. Hope we could get this thing going better. I hope we get it more entertaining. I'm going to try a couple new things. If you got any comments, throw them in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of that. All right. So good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you. Just know that you are highly appreciated. All right. So again, I'm going to sign off, and we'll run it there, man. See you next time. All right. Take care.